Boop. Doop, boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Da-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo. Woo! Good time appropriate welcomings to you. Hello. How goes the internet this point in time? Yep, how goes the internet at this point in time? Because, well, you may have noticed we're not on a MysteryBloks stream. And there's a simple reason for that. It's not finished printing. So I'm having to come at you with new thoughts, new ideas, new stuff to make it work. I say to make it work. I mean, the printers are currently mostly, for the most part, working away quite happily, and I need to clear the build plate on the one that will be the MysteryBlok. So let me just do that for you. That's 3 more blocks for the MysteryBlok printer. Let's get rid of the purge prime line, whatever you want to call it. Set ready. What's next? We don't want a firmware update. We don't care. We've got just more MysteryBlok mini stuff, which will end at 2 o'clock in the morning. But, it is what it is. So that's more of the, what I believe is the Z-axis being done. But so far, it seems to be printing away. It was scheduled, Joe. Also, welcome. It was scheduled. It's supposed to be the Thursday one, where I'm supposed to have had all of the parts finished, but I didn't get them all finished. So it's instead of the MysteryBlok, it's just other nonsense. Other printer blocky themed nonsense, which I have an idea of what I would like to do. I'm just checking in with where stuff's at in terms of the print queue, and we'll see where we get to with blocks that are printing. We've got, so far, I'm going to bring up the slicer for this one, and we can see what we've done so far. Because hey, we can do a little bit of MysteryBlok in this one. We have got an electronics enclosure that is mostly okay. I'm currently reworking the cards for PrinterQuest, adding stats trackers to the cards to minimize the number of parts to 3D print. Ah, nice. I like that one. I like that. So far, we have got electronics enclosure, a 1x2, and a short block. We have also got, so that's plate 1, is complete. We have then got a Tetronimo L in Gigantoblock form, a 1x4, and another 1x2. And then, in green, we have got a the motor block, a rod holder that I drop on my keyboard, a rod holder, the screen adjuster angle mount, and another 1x2. That's it so far, because this is where things get fun. When I just shove the blocks back in the box that's holding them for the time being. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. In the box you go. As you can see, spool holder box. Spool holder boxes are great. When I transition the camera back, I had some failure. Printing does take time, especially, as I say, when you get failures. A layer shift. And I don't know why it layer shifted. Because as I drop it, once again, it happened twice. At the same point, pretty much, the same height. Like, how and why? How and why? It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. That points to a G-code error. That's what I was thinking. That is what I was thinking. So, I guess we pull down that file from Prusa Connect and we take a look, right? So, let's go to printers. That's the Mini Plus. Where is OBS? Let's transition back to Prusa Connect that you can't see. Why can't you see Prusa Connect? That is weird. That is very weird. You can see print settings. Is it just the iframes that you can't see? Yeah, you can't see the captive windows. I'm going to grab that G-code file. Can I download the file from Prusa Connect? I can. Can I download it? Is that now in my downloads folder? Downloads. That's yesterday. Download. It won't let me download it. Okay. It might also be a hiccup in the storage medium. That could be possible. That Prusa Mini is a second-hand Prusa Mini with a second-hand USB stick. So it could be that storage medium is going kaput. I'm going to need to sign into Printables directly. Printables.com. Because it won't let me download it through Prusa Slicer. So let me get logged in. If you run a scan on the USB stick, that'll usually fix that. I shall do that. So let me get signed in, because surprisingly I'm not signed in yet. So how is PrinterQuest treating you at the moment? Is it doing what it should be doing? Is it treating you nicely, or is it being a pain in the backside? I shall share my screen once I get signed back in. I'm enjoying the process. It's just time consuming. I'd just love to be playing more of it. I agree with that sentiment. I still haven't finished printing. I keep meaning to hit print on more files, and I keep forgetting or getting sidetracked. So I could do that today. I could finally hit print on PrinterQuest once again. I spent some time this morning and yesterday painting the minis so I can take pretty pictures. Yes, awesome. I've never done painting. I've never done it. Also, the stuff I did on the card yesterday got lost because I didn't save and Windows updated. So I had to start it over again. No! No! That is terrible. I had another fun printer, by the way. So I've replaced, I'm just giving one of my printers a reach around. I gave new Bowden pneumatic couplers to one of the Prusa, to the original Prusa Mini, not the Prusa Mini Plus. Yeah, the original Prusa Mini with the 3D printed faceplates. I gave a new coupler to it, and the threading on the extruder had just given up. So it pushed itself out twice. So now I have a little stack of prints that are partially done that are of no use, other than reasonably thick shims. Or I just put them in the bin because I don't yet have any shredder or means of recycling them. Yeah. So I've now shimmed the pneumatic coupler in place. That seems to be holding up. So I think I've shown these before. These are tokens with a number on that get put into a bag and drawn, like essentially like bingo. But they are for determining where people sit. It's just you put your hand into the bag, you pick one out, and the one that you pull, that's where you go. At least that's their intended use case. Be that for a seat in a theatre or a fishing location or something else. They are used in fishing tournaments. So the location, the venue has a certain number of, they call them pegs, that you sit at. And what if I don't want to sit by 12? Well, you picked it out of the bag. That's where you sit. As I say, they're used for fishing tournaments, so whichever one you pull out of the bag is where you sit. So you've got criteria, or the criteria that I was given for these is the depth of the recess can't give away what location you're going to be sat at without, yeah, that was the criteria I got. And then it needs to be, you need to be able to hold it up and from a distance see that whoever picked that token, you can somewhat see where they're going to be sitting from a distance. so other people can see. But yes, they're used for fishing. I personally don't fish, but the person who requested them does fish, so. Right. Prusa printables. Where is my two-factor? Sounds fishy to me. Yes, it does indeed, Tulsa. Also, hello. How are you doing? And to Cragord, hello. Glad you could join. You're not late. No, you're not late at all. How do I find... Oh, it's connect.printables.com. No, it's not. Is it connect.prusa.com? Prusa Connect login. Connect.prusa3d.com. That's why. Prusa Connect. Nice. Mini Plus is the one that I'm trying to download the file from. Select the file and then download. The file is being downloaded. Open file. No. Let's drag it into Prusa Slicer and let's see if it's an issue with the G-code file itself. Are you going to load? I have been here the whole time. Glad you've been here the whole time, Cragord. I've not been here the whole time. Good, how are you? I am... yes. That's how I am. I am yes. I am good. I'm good. I'm drinking coffee. The mug's got a D on it for Dreams Void. I think I need a custom mug. I need a custom mug. I should do that. Good day. I'm here, but bouncing around. Well, if the coffee works for Duco, so shall I. And if it doesn't work, then I have a beverage that comes in a black can that you prefer. And if that doesn't work, I've got some magnets. Oh, come on. Come on. The file's... There it is. So, Joe, you had the theory, when I changed the window capture, you had a theory that it was a issue with the G-code file, right? As to why we've got the shift, but why we have consistently got the shift. Because there's nothing wrong with the G-code file. The G-code file looks fine. So I think it's just a coincidental impact at some point that doesn't make sense. Because I see no debris on, like, where is it? I see no debris. I see nothing that would suggest an impact anywhere to then cause the print to shift. So Cragord thinks it's the hardware. I would say move the USB to another. Maybe try printing them one at a time. That is an idea. But at the same time, can I show that printer right now? How can I show that printer right now? No. You're there. Why are you there? You shouldn't be there. Right, I'm going to point you at the ceiling because I don't need you pointing out the front of the garage. Let's do this one. Ah, it's a crazy scene right now. So, whoop, whoop. There's a lot going on here. I do apologize. A lot going on. Move that back up. Boom. Right. So, below me, yeah, down here, we've got the Prusa Mini that will be the Prusa block printer. Over here, we've got the camera that normally points at my desk. Ta-da! So you can see the nonsense that is the prints. Yep. And then, the printer that is just here, this is the printer that produced this mess. And then, the printer that's next to this printer is the printer that's printing out more of these tokens. And then, this one, that should be the printer that lives below this one in the cubbyhole below it. So if I just, whoop, there we go. So where this printer is here, that is currently a King Rune KP3S. The Creality K1 currently has a hat that is a Prusa Mini. That Prusa Mini should be living in there. Okay? Are you with me so far? Yes, this is the point I was getting to. It appears to have gotten higher than it was last time. This is the point I was trying to get to. It is now more vertically up. So before it was at, so that's 16, it was about at 24 millimeters. It's now past 24 millimeters. But if every print on that, yes. Oh, that's so cool. I can honestly say your setup is cooler than mine. No. No, I like your setup. Your setup's good. I'm stuck at the end of a garage with very little room. So it was a fluke. 2 identical flukes in a row. Potentially. That's why it's weird. It's so weird. But it's pretty much at the same height. Like, if I put them side by side, that's pretty much the same height. Also curling. There is some curling, but only on the second one because I didn't clean the build plate after the first. Ooh. Let's bring you back up here. There we go. Right. This is fun. I like this. There's a lot going on screen right now. There is a lot going on. Look, an art project. Josh, you're a hypocrite. You're an art project. So let's just go back to a more simplified side by side. Let's go to this one. Let's just go to this one. Let's take the chaos away for now. We've got the MysteryBloks. That is, why are you doing this? Josh would throw that in his shredder and make new filaments from it. Yes, Josh would. However, Josh has currently got over a ton of filament that he needs to process. So Josh can't have it. Josh isn't allowed. I'm honestly more apt to talk about it and not do it. I'm not throwing any shade, nor am I throwing any shadows. Because my lighting is... No, there's a shadow there, but you can't see it. Haha. Right. So we are coming up on 30 minutes into this MysteryBloks episode. There are 5 of you here, and I thank every single one of you that has turned up to this non-Prusa Block specific stream. Trash can babies. What? What? So, let us delve in to what I'm thinking about once my window capture for Tinkercad springs back up. And where is Tinkercad page? There it is. Here we are. Let's go through and find the project that I wanted to show you all. Because Tinkercad is a mess. It's very much a mess. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Where is it? It can't be this far back. It can't be this far back, surely. No, it's not. Right, go back to page 1. I've just misplaced it. Here it is. Here it is. It might have been on page 1. We'll never know. Welcome to my project file for RoboPad. Now, let's do robopad.co.uk, I believe. What is RoboPad? Yes, Josh. Ooh. RoboPad. What is RoboPad? RoboPad, as I drop my filament, my prying tool off onto the floor. It's a controller board that is very cheap, that allows you to make custom ant-weight combat robots, or heavier than ant-weight combat robots. Custom combat robots, and also do things like revive old radio-controlled toys. An example of which went to Smurf 26 and was used as part of the marketing, whoop, as I drop things, as part of the marketing for RoboPad at Smurf 26. It was Sir Killalot. Sir Killalot is from the UK TV series Robot Wars. Originally, this, I can't remember what year this was, 2005-ish. Let me just check. 1998 BBC Logistics Kids Retail 2000. Maybe it was older than 2005. Anyway, this thing came with a standard radio controller board. This particular one was 49 megahertz, so it had a dedicated controller to drive it backwards and forwards and round and operate the claw. It also had a lance, but the lance is broken off. So, when I bought this second hand, I didn't get the controller with it. So what did I do? Well, at Smurf24, I saw RoboPad. I picked one up, and then I did a brain transplant on this Sakilla-Lot radio-controlled robot and put the RoboPad controller board inside. It's brilliant, trust me. And what RoboPad gives you is a blank page. It was going so well. It was going so well. What RoboPad gives you is a web interface on your phone that then you can drive around the robot that you create. Now, Herzl has asked, are you doing printer block combat robots? Why not? Why not? Why shouldn't we do printer block based combat robotics? Because you print printer block, you build the robot however you gosh darn please, and go into combat. And if it breaks, what do you know? It's printer block, you just put it back together. This is a project I have wanted to start for a while, so I'm glad someone else is doing it. Honestly, if RoboPad could work out what is required for international shipping, you know, getting this sent to the United States, it would be brilliant. So, let's have a look at... No, that's the support page. Let me just show you the note how you do the things. Is it the guide? User guide English. Which page am I looking for? Shed as much parts as you can will clog up someone else's robot mechanics. Yes, it would. So, you get the capability to control multiple motors, so 2 motors typically, and a servo. I feel this should be possible with a simple ESP32. This essentially is an ESP. I can't remember specifically which one, but it's an ESP controller of some description. Let me just check, because I can find the correct answer. Which ESP is it? I can't find the exact answer right now. But I do not believe it is specifically an ESP32. Your ESP8266 seems, yeah, it feels about right. 8266 feels correct. So, as I was saying, you get 2 motors, maybe 3 motors, or a servo motor. A third motor would take an H-bridge being added on, which is one of the things that I'm having to do with Sakilla-Lot to get his claw operational. So you can add that in. So you can do crazy things with RoboPad. Sorry. You can do crazy things like with RoboPad, like having a shell spinner. You can have a RoboPad ant-weight combat robot that is a shell spinner and just obliterate everything. And while that might be a little bit extreme for Printerblock, it's still something that I think is rather fun. So what I'm thinking, maybe not entirely Printerblock, but we've got the base platform. Wrong one again. We've got a base platform that works. Like, I have printed this. I have driven this. Printerblock, RoboPad. You know, I did the thing. I made it work. And it's really rather fun. You know. I don't know how well you can see that. But, you know, I printed it. And I drove it around the kitchen floor, because why not? That wasn't even at 100% speed. So I'm leaving it to you. Where do we go? How far do we take this? Which ElectroBlock components should we liberate and make work? Could we make a grabber? Perhaps? How far can we get in the next hour and a half? Because, you know, why not? I think the first would be simple. Which first? What did I say first? Simply quote, a simple slap-down arm mechanism. We take the servo for the servo holder and use a servo, and maybe that. How could we make a pinchy? And how could we make a pinchy that works with Printerblock? I'm currently doing a project with my maker classes to build a base for anything drivable, including combat robots. Well, Herzl, I hate to say it, I've done it for you. Pinchy is 2 servos. Is it, or could it be driven off of 1? Servo-driven pincher. Let's do an image search. Hopefully it doesn't come up with anything crazy. This. You drive one arm, and then another gear drives the second. Why complicate it? We've only got the wiring for 1 servo. we've only got, we can only, sorry, I say we can only drive. We can only control actively a single servo. Okay. So round 2 of green blocks. Tempted to make a mini death racer now. Josh, you don't need more projects. You're okay, dude. You don't need more projects. Well, I'd say if you wire them in parallel, but that's not how servos work. You can't flip the single one. Can't flip the signal to 1. If they were wired parallel, but one of them wired backwards, would that work? Yes, of course. You could flip the second servo. Thank you. Okay. So it could work. Okay. Right. We need to go to printables once again. We need to search for MysteryBlok. And then we need to find MysteryBloks. And then we go to files. And then we find the servo holder. Where's the servo? Brushed, geared, drone, servo block. The auto MysteryBlok servo holder isn't double-sided. I'd need to make one that hinges on both sides. Would you? Oh, look. Do you like models from the 3D Printing Professor? I would say we do. We definitely do. So, if you enjoy models from the 3D Printing Professor, you could go to youtube.com/ let me double check. 3D Printing Professor. 3D Printing Professor. At 3DP Professor. And if you like what he does, you could hit the subscribe button. Also, he has an Etsy store where you can buy things like pre-printed and smoothed cute Cthulhus. And also the rejects. The rejects are fun. You could do that. Or, if you really enjoy his work, he has a Patreon. Which 3dpprofessor.com/support is where you can find everything else. Ta-da! Have a link. There you go, Joe. Have a link. Let's have a look at that servo block, shall we? Nope, wrong window. Import. Servo block. Not double-sided. Let's see what you mean by not double-sided. So there's a wire hole there. Doesn't have the offsets. Shilling for me better than I am. Well, considering I didn't even tweet about streaming tonight and I didn't post anywhere until 10 minutes before I was due to go live, I did pretty good. So this is what you mean by not double-sided. The wire hole is on one side. Is that it? Looks like a very shocked face. A very shocked face indeed. What I mean is I should have designed it so the servo drives in the arm go over the whole block. I should really look at what the whole block of a servo arm looks like. Where is a servo arm? That's buttons. That's more buttons. That's a controller. That's an LED cube. That's a controller redooded. Okay. Okay. How about this? How big of a servo is it? What is it, an 8-gram servo? Kids model. How big is this? How big is this? Let's do a search in the public. Servo. Servo SG90, mini servo, standard servo. What is a standard servo? Servo motor. Micro servo. Continuous servo. Continuous servo plastic horn. Aluminium horn. Aluminium horn. What if I take this one and plonk it here? Could we do something along these lines? I get the distinct feeling that it is not this servo. Or is it? Okay, that actually might be the right one. That might actually be the right one. That looks exactly like there. That looks that looks like exactly the right one. Okay, that's kind of funny. So what you mean is it's not central to the block itself and therefore the arm can't go both sides? Mirror. Mirror. So that one does not have any indication of wiring. Okay. So is this the same thing but without the horn? No, it's really not. Is this the same thing but without the horn? Doot, doot. And then move you over here, move you here, move you here. And doot, 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 doot. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Yeah. That is pretty much the same servo. That part connects to the arm. The part that connects to the arm is just a block. It should be a C that anchors the pivot point opposite. So did you... Let's have a look back on printables for a moment. And let's servo block, arm block. Okay, so you specifically made an arm block, a 1x2 arm block. Okay, that makes sense. That way you can use print block or actuate printer block from the servo itself. In this instance, I'm not looking to actuate printer block from the servo. I'm looking to have claws. So I'm looking to make a claw mechanism that is held together by printer block, or held on by printer block. So let's go for a gear. Because I'm good at this. Right, that's one gear. Okay. And then we duplicate. Screw it. You go. Nope. Like that. And then let's move you so you're not bound. Like that. Get rid of that for a moment. And then where is the scribble tool? Again, if it were a big C that went around the housing, it was, and was probably engineered, you could put two servos wired in sequence, slip one over, build the fingers, and build the fingers with printer block. Ah. Right, let's do a generic claw. And then have a circle here. Okay. Oh, wait, fill it in. I don't know how I feel about this scribble tool. It works for fleshing out an idea, but I'm not very good with it because I don't draw. Everything I do is block-based, as I'm sure you can tell. Right. Duplicate, mirror, and then something like that. And then we take these two and we shove them over here. Bring them up. No, wait. Okay, okay, in the house and relaxed. Hi, Doug. Hello, Doug. How are you, Doug? Let's go for 8. Let's do it 8 mil. And then let's bring this here. Let's bring this down here. Maybe. You align on this. There you go. Something like that, Joe. Something like that. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Thing is, outside of printing this and making it do the things, I don't know how I would test this. SimLab? 3D? SimLab. Let's see what happens if I open SimLab. The print failed because of movement. Either it shifted and caused it, or maybe another printer movement rocked it. Maybe. Maybe. Axle. There? Axle. There? Motor type. Servo. Okay. And then what? Can it do the thing? I don't actually know how to do simulation in Tinkercad yet. I couldn't tell you that while I was driving. No, and I'm glad you didn't try. That would have been very silly. Edit interactions. What does that do? Okay. F. No. I don't know how to do the things. This is something I need to learn. I'm just going to throw a ball at it. Can I throw a ball at it? Play. It's not doing anything. Never mind. Let's just exit and go back to 3D. Oh, jeez. Delete that and then delete that because I don't know how it works. Right. My new door handle for my printer is almost done. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That works. Why did you need a new door handle? Did it fall off? Sorry, I had to duck out. Patrons at the Makerspace. What did I miss? You missed me attempting to use the SimLab. I don't know how to use the SimLab. I was seeing if I could make the things rotate. The stock one is tiny. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would have swapped that out. Let's have another check. How are the printers doing? Okay. So what will be the Prusa block is currently doing reasonably well at printing the screen. And this thing, the long thing, is one of the 2x11s or whatever it is. And that looks to be a 1x2 rod holder. Not a rod holder wide. And then that Prusa Mini that did the print failures looks to be doing all right too. That is supposedly 98% finished, so shouldn't be too far off. I'm playing with a pair of scissors in my hands, and the other Prusa Mini is slowly printing more of those tokens. No. I should listen to you and stop playing with scissors. But they're fun. Fine, I'll put them away. I'll play with something else. Different scissors. I've got you there, Cragord. I've got you there. Go on, admit it. Admit it. I've got you. Stop playing with the small scissors and I'll play with the big scissors instead. Print a toy or something. You know, there's this toy. This guy has one. It looks like a square or a cube. Yeah. What is that? What is it? Right. How? Oh, for goodness sake. This one. There we go. Better than nothing. Exactly. So, how would we do the thing to do the thing? You know? How would we do the thing? How would we do the thing to do the thing? Because part of me is like, oh, you'd have this rotated 45 and then somehow you would just either drive it directly or you would indirectly drive one of them with another gear, you know? Gears are my weakest subject, by the way. Like, OBS, what are you doing? OBS, why would you do that? Why would you scare me like that? Am I here? Hello? Was a big pause. It was a big pause. How big of a pause are we talking? It didn't stop for me, seemed fine the whole time. 10-ish seconds. Okay. So I had a notification saying OBS just dropped and came back. Right. Right. Let me just check. Right. So, back to the thing then. You would have a step gear. So a smaller gear that goes to it. So is this what you mean, Cragord? So have the claws as a separate piece, and then you would have it drive both. I dropped again. OBS does not seem very happy right about now. The moment we actually start doing something, it gets unhappy and starts disconnecting left, right, and center. But I can't see why it's doing that. It could be YouTube. Maybe. But I know what could be a possibility. Blocks. Get off the build plate. We have blocks. We have the X carriage end, where we hold the idler. We have the hexagonal hole for the nut that does have a base, so that's good. Whoop. And the screw head hole does also have a base. The heat, yes, the heat is possible. Currently we are at 70 degrees on the CPU, but only 50% load. We have got a slightly curvy Z top Z carriage top. So the bed does need a clean. Got a bit of warping there. And another 1x2 with the same issue. So more warp. They're usable. Would that affect it? No, not particularly. Not particularly at all. So, backstory. Sunlu provided the filament for the table for Smurf 24, for Smurf 26, and contributed towards the stem pile. So Sunlu have got a sponsor block. So if we use Sunlu sponsor block, we can put the 1x2 Gigantoblock on. Glue the bed. No. Don't need to glue the bed. A little bit of warp, but it's perfectly usable. Wow, hang on. That looks terrible there, but you bring it back into the center of the frame. That's fish-eyed. Perfectly usable. Pre-release Construct 3D, all clean. It's something that lifts up the grease off the bed. Unlike straight up isopropyl alcohol, it will lift the grease. It uses surfactants and makes it go away. I'm not big on glue, but with the heat, you may need it. Perhaps. Or I just clean the bed. So you use part 1, which is all clean, and, you know, surfactants lift up and break up the grease. And then you find the scrubber thing that you have specifically for cleaning your beds that I seem to have misplaced instead of using paper towel. Gosh darn it. Where is it? I've specifically got a scrubber for scrubbing my beds, and I can't see it. Maybe this stream should have been about cleaning. I want all clean, but don't want to spend the money. Oh, hell yeah. I agree. That's why mine's pre-release. Oh, I can't find my scrubber, guys. I can't find it. Specifically have a scrubber for exactly this reason. I have a torso, did you know that? Did you know I have a torso? Where is it? I've got a 3-pack as well. This one will do. A light scrubber. Is he working it on getting on Amazon? That is a good question that I do not know the answer to at the moment. I don't see why he wouldn't want fulfilled by Amazon. And step 2 is just watered down isopropyl alcohol. He is. Oh, he is working. Good. Good. Don't know if he told anybody, but I named it. I gave it the name All Clean. And I gave it the name Ready to Print. That was mine. Okay. One clean bed. And then that is cool. It is cool. Because there is a kids' TV show in the UK called Big Cook, Little Cook. And they have their thing of all clean and ready to cook. Because, you know, it's a kids' TV show. I helped crash his site when he launched it. Which side did I just clean? Was it that side? Or was it that side? That side. Okay. Home. Print. Is it this one again? Yes, print. There we go. I need some. My PEI is starting to act up. It's good stuff. It is good stuff. Okay. Let's get back to it again for the fourth time. I did just drop again, and then I came back. I did the 110 heat soak trick the other night, and did it work? Did drying your PEI bed make it print better? Good to know. That is really good to know. That one. But I know it's time to deep clean it. I wish we could put, I really wish we could put print beds into the dishwasher. Because that would just be so nice. But it doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't know why it doesn't seem like a good idea. I just feel like some of the additives that they put into dishwashers, lazy. Yes, lazy. I just feel like some of the additives that they put in to make your glass sparkle would be something that would just ruin your print bed. I don't know. I don't have any basis in reality for this thought process, but it just seems like it would be the case. I suspect it's more heat than would be healthy. But it's 70 degrees. It's 50 or 70 degrees for a dishwasher cycle. Like, it's not that much. And a dishwasher cycle is only, what, an hour and a half? 2 hours? Also, hey, Reliance. I use Dawn dishwasher for washing, dry off, put it on the printer, then give it a wipe with alcohol. Also, hello, Ken. See, they work as methods. The Dawn dish soap or the Windex with that has the ammonia, the good stuff that we don't have in the UK. They seem They are proven to work. But again, I just wonder, like, there's some soapy stuff that you don't need to clean. There's some soapy stuff you don't need to clean it with. You don't know what's in the caps or stuff you use in the dishwasher. No, you don't. You don't at all. I don't know if the dishwasher would ruin the bed or not, but it's likely to leave some sort of film on it. Probably, because dishwashers have salt in them. At least we put salt in ours. So that wouldn't help the steel sheet at all. It would give it the opportunity to rust. I don't know. I just want to try. I want to get a dishwasher. A dishwasher. I have a dishwasher. I want to get a printer bed and just leave it in the dishwasher for multiple runs. Joe, damn it, Joe. You've done it again. Give it a shot and let me know how it goes. That's how we got in this mess. That's how we got in this situation right here. I gave it a go and I'm letting you know how it goes. Raj, hello. How you doing? Also, yeah, Ken, hello. I've said hello, I think. I didn't ask how you're doing, though. Right. How on earth? Whew. How on earth do we do this in a way that actually makes sense? How do we do this in a way that makes sense? Just do it. Well, considering I ran out of juice, and now it's Viduko's favorite drink. It is warm in here. Right. Come on, Doug, we've got this. Let's figure out how to make these claws. And figure out how big to make them too, because I don't know how big to make them. Like, if we're just wanting to grab the RoboPad platform, then my goodness, it needs to be a lot bigger than we currently have it, because that, dear friends, is grabbing nothing. Look at it, it's getting nothing. So we need claws that are a lot bigger than this. That's what, yes. Going good. Did run in some problems with the marble runner. It's going too fast, so it's going off track. Yep. Oh. Joe, have you seen Reliance 3D's Marble Track? Because if you haven't, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous and absolutely fantastic, and I think it's one that would go down quite well with the audience in your makerspace, or at least the younger audience in your makerspace. Also, you make me want to run a makerspace. Just putting it out there. You get to do it, and I kind of... It makes me want to see if I could get one in my area, or look at the logistics of getting one in my area. because there isn't one in my town. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but the idea of a makerspace is fun to me. I just wish I had the capital to actually to do so. I got lucky. The library wants to make one. So how wide is this? We want something with jaws that can grab 128. How? Where's the reference thing that I was using? Servo-driven claw. So that's a single servo, that's a direct drive claw on a servo. So yeah, that's all direct drive, and they're ones that want to go forward and pinch rather than out and pinch. One project that I've always wanted to do was a marble run Christmas tree. Just a bunch of marble runs stacked together, leading into each other, with a huge drive mechanism up the middle. Reliance marble track could probably be made into a Christmas tree. It probably could be the entire Christmas tree. Okay. A very flat one though. I don't know. Have we found out the maximum height that your track can go yet? Like, have we gone 20 layers yet on a single column? I think you've done 7. But then it's, again, the issue you've got is keeping track of everything. Right. Let's do a ring. Maximum size. What is this? What is this? What? What is this editor? Is that the internal geometry of the ring? What? What? I did not know that was a thing. What? Herzl, what is this? What is this, Herzl? This makes no sense. You can shape the ring. No, I didn't know about this one. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's been around for a while. I have no idea what to use it for, though. Okay, third row, middle element. Revolve sketch. I had a look at Revolve. And to me, that one makes no sense either. Like, that, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that, and back to the start. Sketch. No. Finish sketch. Like, it just looks nothing like the thing that I just made. So I don't know how to do Revolve. And I've never interacted with Ring. I'm going to stick to Tube because I know Tube works. Going to make it 8 for now. I'm going to stretch it out this way. Stretch it out this way a bit. And then get rid of this middle bit. Something like this. And then a bit more like this. And then chomp. Tube is tube. Tube is the tube. No. Wrong one. Drop it down. Make it 8. Let's just throw something together and see if we can make it make sense. So really, that should be the gear. Actually, Robot Rage Claw. Robot Rage 2 Claw images. No. So there was a game on Miniclip many moons ago called Robot Rage. And I'm wondering... Nope. No, it doesn't have it. Glue spreader. Love the glue spreader. Main page. Robot Rage 2. Rearmed. Categories, maybe we can find it in there. No, rebel parts. The claw. Drill, the claw. The claw is a stub. Dagger. No. Plow. No. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to find what I want to find. Either way, kids usually use it to make experimental unprintable things and help me to fix it. Yeah. You need to make it in the left side. Oh. Oh. Huh. Ken, thank you for that. And what do we end up with? A water feature that can't be printed. Okay. Yep, right. I need to stop being distracted because this is a silly Beyblade. Reliance, my dear fellow, there is a project that was a contest that was recently on printables that I missed out on because my brain wouldn't let me focus on it. Which is printer block battling spinning tops. The thing that my brain wouldn't let me focus on was making the launcher. Because, you know, Beyblade compatible spinning tops made with printer block and using a connector to hold it all together. I couldn't work out how to do the launcher. Because, hey, what do you know? It uses gears. This is such a non... That is another project I want to work on. Well, Joe, it's one that I also want to work on. So maybe we need to do some teamwork and get it finished. Because perhaps between us we could make it work. Perhaps. Yeah, current events on printables are not much interest to me. But again, it's one that STL Denise made a spinning top with a launcher. I believe it was STL Denise. She made a spinning top with a launcher. And while I could have hijacked that launcher and then made it launch printer block compatible spinning tops, it's one that I didn't quite feel right just stealing that launcher. We back. We've been here the whole time, Ace. No, it needs to be down here. I don't know. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I was getting pasta, my bee. Well, where's my pasta? Is it with the Arby's? Right, group. Duplicate. Had 9 people sending me the marble runner contest on printables. I did not feel like putting my project there. Yeah, I think I was one of them that may or may not have sent it. Because you made a marble run. It made sense. Let's just group that for now. Get rid of you. Duplicate, mirror, along. Oh, goodness sake. You might be yes. Yeah, I was. I'm pretty sure I was. Mirror it on that one. Don't press the back button on the mouse. Oh, wait. It can't be mirrored. It has to be its own unique piece because you need a little bit of rotation so the claws don't interfere. And then align them on something. Arby's mention? Yeah. They've still not paid us. Maybe one day. You know? Maybe one day we'll get the Arby's sponsorship. So that should grab something, right? Minus 22.5. 22.5. Yeah? So that's 45 degrees. That's 45 degrees. That's big enough to grab that. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not confident on this one. You can tell that this is not my wheelhouse when it comes to making stuff. I'm warm. I am very warm. Having 3 printers running is not helping the situation. That won't grab, but good learning thing. Yeah, I can see it won't grab. Because I went too aesthetic with the claw. It's not long enough. So 91 by 91, let's do what? 120? It's got a better chance of grabbing. Yeah. Trial and error, the experience to make things better. The greater good. Greater goods. Whichever verbiage you want to use. Maybe I should just make the thing drive the gears in the first place. You know, make the servo holder and make something that we can attach to the servo holder to then twist some gears. Maybe we should go back 5 steps instead of going too complicated at the start. Yeah? Maybe? Maybe we should do that? What do I have? I feel like I do. Well, I should do. I need to find a servo kit. I want to do a combat robot that sprays super glue and activator. I've got nothing to say about that. I've got nothing. I got nothing. That seems like nothing can go wrong at all. Nothing can go wrong with that. Okay. Let's do it this way. Duplicate that. Move one over there. Grab a box. Turn it into a hole. Right. And what we want is to just shrink that hole, shrink that box to actually be the right size. So 32 by 32, because this is actually 39 by 17, so we actually needed 32 by 48 by, that is how tall, including the servo, is 31. So let's just do 32 again. No, let's not. Let's do 32. Let's see what we get away with. We need to plonk, no. Plonk it there. Let's have a look. Middle it. Middle. Middle. Oh, feels like there's too much. But it's not too much because it's going to be having some gears mounted to it. Right. I'm just remaking the blooming block, aren't I, at this point? group with you. You and you group. Let's have a look. And let's just grab the professor's block from over here for a moment, and I bet we've just done the same thing. Yeah. We've come to the same conclusion, but mine's the other way around. There. We just came to the same conclusion. So the one that exists is fine. There is no point in redoing the electro block. The only concession that could be made is adding the extra center holes. But that's nothing to worry about. So we need to make something that can connect onto here. We need to, on 3 sides, because it's going to have a lot of force on it. You wouldn't just want to use a single axis. You'd want something with 3 sides. So we are talking a block on here that comes out. Another block on this face that comes out. And then a block on the face that also. So you'd put the block on the face and then you'd put 2 panels just to ensure that you've got a solid connection. So that would be a shallow block. That would be a panel. So it would be more like that to, to ensure that you've got some level of strength to it. So that something like that, where the panel comes all the way out. And you can only see half of that. Right, let's think. If we need to drive these on here, then our servo can only touch 1. So that servo would be spinning very rapidly. Oops. And it'll be over here. So that would have to be offset on the entire block at that point. On the entire bot, I should say. Or again, because, okay, so there's a risk in, I feel there is a risk if you drive it directly from the servo itself, because that could be, well, that's a lot of pressure to put through the servo. I just feel like that would break. Am I wrong? Am I wrong on that one? I mean, it's the easy way to do it. No, that servo will have a bad time anyway. Ask again, I wasn't listening. Direct driving the claw mechanism from the servo. So not taking into account, not using another gear to then drive it. So you don't have that break point of a gear, rather you have the entire servo itself braking. I don't know how else to phrase that correctly. Or are you pulling my arm, Herzl? because you put a winking face on that message. The difficult part will be putting the hinges in such a way that the servo can still settle into the block. Gotta think about access, but it should work. So we can direct drive it. Rather than using an intermediary gear. Because if we can direct drive it, what do we lose? What do we gain? I'm no expert, never tried it before. Again, catchphrase. Yep. Again, I agree. What am I missing out? What if you printed the gear in a way where the force sheared the plastic instead of breaking the motor? Mega. I don't know if servos from RC airplanes. I only know servo motors from RC airplanes. They're stronger than you think. Hey, Mega Ape Lord. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us as I figure out what on earth it is that I'm actually doing, because I don't know, to put it bluntly. So you say it's stronger than I think it's going to be. I wouldn't do direct drive. You can let another joint take all of the strange forces and the servo only torque. Do you ever know what you're doing? I know how to make it up on the fly. I also know how to use a search engine. And that makes me better than a lot of people. Thanks. Love you all. Love you all, guys. No, I mean the servo may be able to break stuff. Oh. Well, I'm not trying to break stuff. I'm just trying to grab it and hold it. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I know how to use a search engine, so I could look this up. But then, y'all are a search engine right now anyway, so I'm outsourcing the knowledge. I kind of just want to send it. I kind of just want to send it. I shouldn't. Let's do 10. 10 by 10, center it in this. Is it 10 by 10? Let's find out. Amusingly, yes. Okay. Turn that solid. Let's do 3. No. 4 by 4. 4 and a 4. Center it. Center it. Center it. And just grab them both. Whoop. Grab them both. Grab them both. Duplicate. Shuffle it over. Ungroup. Grab this lot. No, not you. I don't want to grab you. You go away. Focus. Nice. I don't want to grab you either. What else have I grabbed? Is that it? Okay. Center it. Let's find out if I accidentally grabbed anything else. I didn't grab this one. Center it. Then you, and you. Group. You, group. Oh. Right, anyway. That and that. I'm a silly goose. I need to grab it all at the same time, don't I? You, and you. Group. You, and you. Group. There. There. So that's both of them. Why are you coloured in like that? Oh, it's the third one. Right. So I suppose we just make a block that holds it here. In that case, that would be 16 by 48. Yeah, 16 by 48. That's a 1 by 3 with a pivot hole. 16, 48, 16. And then, oh, I need the middle bit. Group. I need this. Over here. And then, wait, I missed this. That needs to be 8. 8. And then we regroup it. Eventually, when we say the word group, it's not going to make any form of sense. It's just going to be a nonsense words. Is it there? Is it there? Or is it more here? Here? Here. Here. Let's find out. You go away. You come back to life. You actually need to be centered on this piece over here so that I can use you. You go back there and then go something like that, and then something like that. At which point we can take this cylinder that we've just made, and it's imperative that it remains unharmed. So we shall group it with the cutout piece. Cutout piece. So this is one of those Death Racers. No. No, this is not Death Racer at all. This is me playing around with RoboPad again. I should reintroduce RoboPad, shouldn't I? RoboPad is a control platform made around something that I can't remember the name of by a UK company called RoboPad or BlazeTech, one of the two. It's a very cost-effective controller board that does things, and I am not showing the RoboPad screen, am I? RoboPad. There we are. So it's a controller board that kicks out a wireless access point. Your phone connects to that wireless access point, and then you're able to drive a robot that you've made. Or if you wanted to go crazy, bring an old robot back, an old remote controlled toy back to life. You just do a brain transplant on it, and then you get the little controller board. And you wire it up to your project as you see fit. And it makes it drive. Like, so this is me trying to make a claw to make an ant-weight combat robot that's not going to be ant-weight because it's going to be made out of print block. But I wanted to have some fun while we wait for Prusa block parts to print. And I just slurred my words. So we can swap Doug's brain out and control him. Yes. You'd be able to swap my brains out and control me. Exactly. Pretty much exactly that. It's fun, right? And as I showed it earlier, the user guide for it allows you to do, the base configurations are two motors and a servo. So you could do a flipper. And it uses a node graph editor to define how things are done. So where's the node graph editor? Is there a bit more in depth on the node graph editor? Not particularly. But, you know, it's a very simple, very friendly way to do combat robots. And I wanted to try making a claw, because a claw seems like fun. And if I can drive the claw off of a single servo, then I'll be happy. Because then I can grab things. You know, I can have another go at making a printer block combat robot that cleans up the floor during Smurf of all the printer block that's been dropped on the floor, instead of just using a dustpan and brush. Because a dustpan and brush, to put it bluntly, sucks. Why wouldn't you want to use a robot that you've made to clean up the floor during the show? Oh, it's so warm in here. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The C1 says it's 29 degrees. The Creality K1 says it's 31 degrees. The K1's here. The tokens are 93% of plate number 2. There's 4 plates. Let's have a check in on the printers as we go through this. We've got the Prusa block printing quite nicely. It's around 37% of the screen assembly. The one that gave us the trouble with prints earlier, that is at 10%. I have no idea what it will actually be. Was that an M&M reference? I don't know. Who made the M&M reference, and what was the reference? It's mild at 31 degrees right now. Yes. But I'm British, and I don't do heat. At all. At all. You know. What is 10% through this? Let's have a look. 10%, so it's 160 layers. 10% would be layer 16. It's currently here. It's got a while to go. And considering the 2 times it has crashed out, it's been at layer 40 something. Yeah. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. Okay. Let's do one last dive. Let's do one last piece, bit, whatever. One last bit on the claw. And then I'm going to call it, I think. Because I can sentence really well. Unless there's things that you want to ask me. We could do a Q&A. It's about 35 here. Of course, I'm American, so I have an AC in the house. So it's effectively 23 in my current environment. You're showing off, Ken. You're showing off. Yeah. Unless you guys want to do Q&A, might ask me stupid questions. I say stupid questions. You can ask me questions. Let's do that. Let's do that. Well, it's not at the moment, Cragord. It's not at the moment. And I've now run out of drink. I'm sure you've got questions. Is the claw going to be too far from the floor to pick up spilled blocks? Probably. I thought it was a logo for a company with C's in their name. No. It's not a company. It's not a thing for people whose companies begin with the letter C. 20 degrees in the house. Ah, that's what you mean. Probably it will be too far off the floor. But if we put it upside down, then probably not. We could mount the claw mechanism upside down over the edge of the RoboPad platform. 26C over here. Where are you, Mega Ape Lord? Or extend it off the, or extend the ends of the claw down. Yes, that could work. Or we go for a non-active mechanism and we just use a plow. That's a good idea. But that's a boring idea. Yeah, where are you, Mega Raid Lord? Itchy nose. The shim I put onto the Prusa Mini, the original Prusa Mini, to hold the pneumatic coupler in place for the Bowden tube. It's working, to say the least. Because the other two times I tried to print them, it just did a little bit, and then it failed out. But if the plow funneled them to a conveyor belt that then fed them into a trailer pulled from behind the robot, I love that, Ken. I love that. I have no idea how to make that. I love it. That's great. Brain swap, a Roomba, and printer block it. I mean, that's what we allow. That's what the RoboPad gives us the option to do. You know, I could my robot lawnmower that I'm kind of tempted to do. That could be driven by RoboPad. I know, that's why I suggested it. Well, yeah, I know you know that's why you suggested it. Because it's silly. It's brilliant, but it's silly. But that's me. Not the brilliant part, the silly part. Definitely the silly part. Let's grab some connectors. 1, 2, 3. Duplicate. Bring them over. And then we rotate 90 degrees. And we group U. Rotate. 1, 2. No. You can now, no, you can go away. You're basically building a quote ring girl of battle. What is one of those? I don't know what one of those is. You need to educate me. What is that, Ace? Really? Okay. Yes, really. I don't know what that is. I've never watched wrestling, so I don't know. In between fight matches, a girl comes out and holds a big cup. Oh. Well, that's boring. I thought it was somebody that crawled out of a television screen and terrified people. That's what a ring girl is, right? Normally it's a number to show what round, not wrestling. Isn't it wrestling? Oops. Are you sure it's not wrestling? Nah, something like MMA. Oh. Okay. Radius 1, step 1. Step 1. That hole is perfectly fine and not biased in any way. I think. Yeah, no issues there. That hole will work. Let's just make it go all the way through. Because, hey, why not? Wee group. That's fine. Rotate. And that can be placed there. Whoops. Down. No. There. So that would hook in. Sorry, I'll shut up now. I'm not trying to sidetrack you too much. You could run the conveyor. Could the conveyor belt be run from the servo? Yes. Can the servo be run in a continuous manner, like a motor? Probably. Can the servo actually be a third motor? Yes. Yes, you can run a third motor from... Where's the pin out? You can run a third motor because you've got RxTX, RSP, and 3.3. You can run a third motor, but you need to add a H bridge in to do so. I can't remember specifically which pins, but you need a H bridge. So really, if I'm correct, which I'm probably not, I could add a third motor to run the conveyor, and then I could add an active bucket scoop with the servo and have, you know, bloop, bloop. Was nice to find you. Need to see Starship start now. So, Mega applaud. If you feel like it, if you want to see some more of this potential nonsense, there's a subscribe button if you really want to. And there's a like button if you liked watching this. I'm glad that you decided to give this a try. Hopefully see you again. I'll be back on Tuesday with the regularly scheduled programming that is currently the MysteryBloks stuff, which is converting a Prusa Mini to be built out of Printer Block, which is the toy that is the construction toy thing that I'm like doing here, trying to make this claw work, because I have no idea how to get the claw to work. Enjoy the show. When I was in high school, my team made a moving tank that launched marshmallows. You could do that with a RoboPad. You could do that with a RoboPad and Printer Block. That makes sense, right? And then let me just duplicate that make it longer. No, I said make it longer, not move it. Was a scrub anyway. Oh, so you're back? Welcome back? Maybe? Maybe? Oh. Yeah, as I say, if you want to subscribe and see more of this, whatever this is, who knows? There's a button. On Tuesday, we'll be back to the actual printer block stuff, the actual printer block stuff. Yeah, something like that. Now you've got my full attention. How much trouble can I get into? Can I get into now? What do you mean? Making a marshmallow launcher with a RoboPad? Or the making an articulated bucket that can be used to feed to the conveyor belt behind and put into a trailer. Because no, suggesting the conveyor belt. I don't know. It's up to you how much trouble you want to get into. Because I'm just going to use Joe's words against you. and then also give you the freedom of no, it doesn't need to be printer blockified. You can do it however you like. And heck, I'll build it if it's sensible enough and I can do it. I'd build it. I mean, do I say the dangerous thing? If you I'd welcome you to pitch that to me. And OBS disconnected and OBS comes back. What's going on with my connection today? Something's not happy. As for what's not happy, who knows? But yes, you're welcome to sketch it out, and I will heat-based, like, probably. My Switch is probably not very happy. I imagine it's rather hot right now. Oh, that is toasty. That Switch is toasty. I need to get some active cooling in that. Whoopsies. How would I make an articulated bucket? How would I make a conveyor belt? I mean, a conveyor belt is tank tread, right? Tank tread with sidings. So if we had printer block tank tread, you then do it off a like you could drive a 28 BYJ style motor to do the conveyor belt, right? Tank tread would probably be of benefit because then you've got edges. So if we oh geez, Ken, this is getting good. I like this. So we need to make tank tread. Boo his SpaceX launch script. Yeah, you're a bit late on the news there, Cragord. Mega Ape Lord told us. God, you're running late. Okay. So let's be silly a moment. You've got your Oop. Oh wait. Do that. No, I need it 3x3. 5x5? 5x5. And then rotate. Bring it over here. Drop it. And then do I don't know how to do pivots at the moment, but I'm just going to make it up as I go along. And just make something that resembles it for illustrative purposes. I'll do. And then right. For illustrative purposes only. This is not an actual tank tread thing. I forgot this one. So that then goes. Oh wait. There. Screw it. I can't be bothered with that. Okay. So we would need a way to drive the tank tread. So we would need. All I can think of is having a cutout hole in every single piece of tank tread that then gets pulled as the sprocket rotates. So can I just how many points on the star? No. You could do alternate tubes and then use a strand of filament to act as the hinge. Yes, I agree. No, not that one. Points. 15. Radius 1. No. 10. No. Oh. 20. 30. 45. Use a sprocket and teeth fit between the treads to drive it. So not a hole in the plate, the tread itself. This is so much I've not done before. This is a lot of stuff to learn. That's a little bit scary. That's a little scary. Knowing the purpose, you can make it a bit less robust than if you're making it for combat. What are you making now? A floor cleaner with an articulating bucket that can like a digger, but that lifts a bucket up and tilts printer block onto a conveyor belt that then shoves them into a trailer that's being towed behind. Because that seems like a good idea. Carpet? No, it's the floor at Smurf. So it's a hard floor. The wheels would probably just be basic wheels with bicycle inner tube on them. You need grip, yes. Yes, I would need grip. But I would just, like my Bastion tank, if you go tread-wise. So, I would like to do tread. I would like to do tank track. But again, I've never made tank track. I don't know how to make tank track. That's what I'm currently trying to figure out. Me either. Well, how did you do the tank tread on the Bastion tank? I mean, you did it in Fusion, not Tinkercad. I need to be not doing this at midnight after not sleeping very well for 2 days in a row because of the heat. Oh, come on, Doug. Figure it out. Figure it out. So, search for gear in the community. Then there's one that looks like what you need. Second row, first item. Oh, yes. Yes, that does look like, oh, look like what I need. My lights just turned off. Right. So somehow this pulls each piece. Oh, oops. That was funny. Okay. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay. Post a picture of my concept in your Discord. Okay. Oh. With a long rubber band. It works. Okay. Okay. Let me do this. Bloop. So this is what Reliance shared. The elastic won't work, but the smaller teeth, bracer, bracket rubbers are perfect. Using nails to connect them and using the same nail as the gear pusher. Oh! Okay, so you did it with a box on top. Have to balance the inner radius, outer radius, and the number of teeth, so the distance between the teeth is the width of the tread and the size of the rear, size of the sprocket in the space is between the treads. Oh man. Treads are something that slightly over extend the box so the nail is centered in between the two pieces. Box on top is probably a better start. Okay. So you did. Let's get rid of these for a minute. So you did. Screw it. Duplicate. And then that. And then that. Night Raj, thank you for stopping by. Thanks. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't, shout at me in the comments, because that's the only way I'm going to learn. Something like that. Yeah? Yeah, something like that. Let's make this blue. Blue connecting to green, and then orange connecting to red. I think. This all needs to be perfectly aligned, but it gets the idea started, so you might get less stuck. Yes, thank you. But then how did... Oh, you ran a pin all the way through. You ran the pin all the way through. Okay. So 4x4 because lazy. And then at the end, we'll put it in the middle, knock it through a little bit, more central, and then that goes the whole way through, like that. And then we duplicate it there. So that's your... Oh wait, and then I need another like that. And then I need another like that. Sec, I do not have a picture of that at all. I guess this. And then you're using the gear on, you're using the sprocket to then rotate. and then pull them through. But obviously perfectly lined up and perfectly sized. And that would then pull the tracks that way. Why am I doing tracks? Well, it's the conveyor belt. Why am I daft? Why am I doing this? Other than it's a fun idea. Why are you watching this? Other than you want to watch me torture myself? Why aren't you subscribed? That's a good question. That is a good question. Oh, right. Right. Do you know what? Let's do another check-in on the printers. See how they're doing. The actual the printer that's going to be the MysteryBlok is just about halfway through the screen holder. The Prusa Mini that failed twice today is currently at the 19% mark. We'll see how that does. And the one that's printing the tokens here is at 98%. They're doing all right. They're doing all right. We're getting there. We are getting there. This is nuts. This is completely nuts. If you put those top blocks a little more space between them and the added thick axle between them, you would be able to drive the track much cleaner. Well, if I make this window capture work again, so that we can see what we're talking about. Let's transition once again. I meant between the inner and outer blocks to make room for the sprocket. Oh. 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 So you're saying move the inner blocks closer together. Doot, doot, doot. Doot, doot, doot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2. And then the sprocket can go in the middle there. Is that what you're saying? I believe that's what you're saying. Because then it can travel along here. The driven one can travel along there. The idle one can travel along there. Yes. And then add another sprocket on the... Yeah. So something like this. And then we get our conveyor belt. Or track. It could either idle or you could connect them. Yeah. Because you wouldn't necessarily want it driven from both sides because the motors might be not perfectly matched. So you'd drive it from one corner, but you would lock, you'd have a shaft between the two gears, between the two sprockets to keep them in sync. And then you would have your motor be yeah. When I get the right words. You know, something like that. Added 2 more picture on the Discord. Okay, let's have a look. So there's 1. So you've got a central drive. And what on earth? You've done that. Okay. Okay. That's nuts, Reliance. That is nuts. So words. It's slow but very strong. I mean, we don't necessarily need strength for a conveyor belt to move printer block. Jeez. This is nuts. How do you make stuff like this? What voodoo do you perform? But for driving, cleaning thing, you need good strength to move it around. Yes. Okay. So what? We just recycle 3 of the same thing? we design a track to drive on, and then we just use that same track as the conveyor belt as well. Is that what we're doing? Because it makes sense. I mean, it makes perfect sense to do that, actually. With the double drive thing like this, you don't need the other supports like Reliance 3D needed. Harder to steer that way unless you're thinking 3 tracks, of course. Mine without the other nails slowly fall out, though. Yeah. Yeah. Two tank treads for good steer. Well, tank tread drive with a 3rd tank tread, but that would be the conveyor on the back that then shoves all the blocks to the back into a trailer. Or a big bucket. Yes. I agree. I agree. This needs to happen. This monstrosity needs to happen. Without it, my engines just shred PLA in 10 minutes. Yeah. Your tank thing was fast. Like, it was fast at Smurf. I don't know how else to say it other than it was fast. Okay. Okay. Gonna be honest, I'm starting to hit a wall of tiredness. That was my 20% power. Yeah. I really didn't mean to hijack your plan. I was just thinking out loud. Well, it's fine because that's how we make things better, by collaborating. I just lose instant control above 20% power. Yeah. Because I was just going to make a pusher or something and then just move it into a single place. But I like your idea because it seems like fun. And it's a more interactive piece than just pushing all the blocks into a single pile in a corner. So the final check-in. Let's do a final check-in before my brain fries itself anymore. We've got, when I find OBS. Oh wait, I've got OBS open. Transition the scene. MysteryBlok is going strong at 52%. Unreliable green. Prusa Mini Plus. I'm calling it unreliable green right now. That is currently at 21%. And that would be layer 32-ish. 6.4. What does it say it's at? 6.6. So it's our layer 33 right now. So we are going to find out soon. Well, I'm going to find out soon because I'm going to end up falling asleep in here. What it's doing. As for the Prusa Mini that's doing the tokens, it has finished another plate, which looked quite nice, to be honest. They are going quite nicely, so I can set off the third plate, finally. Home, print, plate number 3. Actually, I need to check which ones I've got. And then I can do plate number 3. One, 5, 4, 6, 7, 9. Mine have 4 wheels with TPU. Be easier to concept, but treads are cool. Yes, I agree, treads are cool. That's 14, 18. So 18, 19. We've got 11, 14, 15. We've got 17 here. We've got 27, 28, 26, 25. 25, 24, and then 21. So still missing quite a few of these tokens that I was asked to do, but that's fine. I just need to look at the G codes to figure out which one's which. That one's got number 3 on it, number 30, number 10. So I need to print this plate that you can't see. Plate number 2, apparently. Yeah, wheels are a lot easier. I've made a wheel, a nice simple wheel. And again, bicycle inner tube works really well for grip. The basic RoboPad I made, switch. I bet the scene doesn't turn up. Of course it doesn't. That one. The basic RoboPad I made and put on printables, it used bicycle inner tube on the wheel, and it zipped around quite nicely in the kitchen. Let me just skip forward to it so you can see it drive. Like it went nicely, and that was at 10% power, because I don't know how to drive these things. It's fun. I'm looking forward to actually making another one, because I've got many ideas for RoboPad that I could do. But, you know, it's all about learning and figuring it out. And that's what you do. You figure stuff out, you share the knowledge. And yes, very light in total. If you're doing actual combat robotics, which I'm not at the moment. At the moment. But do you know what else is at the moment? Me saying goodnight to your faces, because, as I said about 10 minutes ago, I've hit the wall. I've hit the wall. 2 of my hackerspace have built and used those. What, combat robots? Because, yeah. There is no wall, only Zool. Yes, the tiny ones. Ant weights. I love ant weights. I love them. Good night. Hope you sleep better tonight. So do I. So do I. It's all part of the fun, though, isn't it? It's all part of the fun. So, Prusa block. 2 of the Prusa minis aren't currently being used for a job. For a job, I say a job. It's for somebody I know. It's me doing them a favor, as tends to be with all of us in 3D printers. It's been a weird stream tonight, but you know what? Can't complain. It's something new, something fun. Yes, you derailed it, Ken. However, I wouldn't know even where to start to approach tank treads, but we're getting somewhere. Tuesday, I believe I can do the usual 1:30 stream, and be back to normal. I don't think I've got anything that's going to interrupt that. If there is, I will let you all know. So that's 1:30 p.m. British summertime. That's 2:30 p.m. Central European summertime. That is 8 a.m. on the East Coast. That is 7 a.m. in Texas. And as for mountain time, I'm still figuring that out. I'm still figuring out mountain time. We should be back to the Prusa block because all the pieces should be printed. But again, that's where you've then got the conflict in your heart of, do I take apart a printer that I've just built and works? Yes, we do. There's no way around it. We 100% we take apart the new Prusa Mini and make it into the printable printer. We 100% do that. That is, we're gonna check all the pieces on. We're gonna go through and check all the pieces that we've got printed so far on Tuesday. Hopefully, that's all of the pieces. Which then brings us back to Thursday. If everything is printed and we've validated that it's all okay on Tuesday, Thursday we'll be back to actually building the Prusa block printer. But again, we will see where we're at. If we're nowhere near, well, we're going to carry on with this little side quest of RoboPad, because why not? The RoboPad side quest, while I remove support filaments from these connectors instead of going to bed. Ugh. Right. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, you can always like the video. If you hated it, you can always shout at me in the comments. Yes. Yes. That makes sense. Cheerio. This is going to be a 12-hour plus stream. Ooh. I gave One Direction in so many ways to make tank treads. Yes, you did. But that's okay. I have a working Core 1. And I will soon take it apart. Does that mean that you've got index? Does that mean you've got index? Oh no. Good night.